2 blocks. And your blanket. And your playlist. Good. A blanket or a bolster to sit on. And you are all set to go. So, good morning and welcome. My name is Martha McAlpin, and I'm so pleased that you're here. Set up your space so you feel comfortable, so that you can set aside what is ordinarily calling you away, so that you can be right here for the moment. I find this so challenging, practicing at home, or here we are in the middle of the day, all the things that are in momentum and all the things that it takes for me to seemingly carve a space into my schedule and hold that space. But the more that I do, the more I gain here. So thank you for taking the time, and anything else you need to do to find your way into this space with a clear mind, then do that now. The playlist that we'll be using is to Svadhistana, and it's always on my Spotify account. You can find it on my website. Thinking about the weather recently, about how all of it being so different, and really considering that weather is made of water, is made of an absence or an arrival of water, a temperature. We have floods, we have snow, we have this change. And so all around us there is this change in the waters, and the waters in the air, and the impact that has. We have a familiarity with our waters, with what is outside of us and what is inside of us, and yet it is not a static element. It is a flow, it is a shift. And so just notice if you're fighting, like what's happening to the weather outside. Notice the weather inside. Know that there is a coming and there's a going. And you can make of that what you will. Just know that it's the way that we recalibrate. It's the way that we feel and return, that we fall away, that we repair in this water element. Put your palm, one on the front low belly, one on the low back, holding there. Again, Jacqueline Suskin. What rightful flow belongs to water when we welcome this required reversal of flow, when we stop the waters? The unleashed force of an autonomous element returns to its precious pulse when we let go. Who stands in the way of such deep knowledge, cracks the cold code of the colonizer, and keeps our life contained and held against its winding will? Break down the barrier between what was and what could be. See here a rise of health, a sacred call to change the course, to correct at least one awful choice, and watch what happens when a river is untethered and free. To change one thing, set ourselves free. Palms together, heart high, Om Namo. I bow to everything outside of me, guiding me, healing me, holding me. Guru Dev Namo. I bow to everything inside of me, rising to meet it all. Inhale. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo Guru Dev. Roll your shoulders, roll your wrists, set your things aside, and we will come to lie down on our backs. Playlist is begun. Take my leave of you. It is the second track. Take my leave of you. As you lie down, knees are bent, feet are flat. Good. Arms wide or overhead. And begin to move the lift of the chest, the lift of the toes, the arch of the back, and then rounding down through the spine. Just rolling open, rolling down. Inhale, open, a little arch of the back, sit your seat down, shoulders down. And rounding the low back into the floor. Begin to feel the tidal fluid quality in your body. And the emotions that may follow. Keep it moving. One more minute, we stay right here. Move as you can, move as you will. Feeling your breath become more fluid. Let it settle, the movement, the rock of the hips. Let it drop further down into the low belly. It may quicken. And pause. Notice. Widen your heels. Your heels feel the outside edge of your mat. Your knees falling in, your heels forward of your knees, and then allow both knees to fall left. Feet flat, find center, and then right. Falling left and falling right. Moving, moving. That reading before we began was in honor of the undamming of a California river, of setting it free. Find that sensation of what has been pent up in the body, in the breath, in the movements, and let it move. The mental image, that river, free again. Let it find its own will, its own way. Eyes closed, one more minute, side to side. Let it quicken, let it loosen, let yourself move. Eyes closed, body steady and supple. For 3,
2. And at the center, you pause a beat and notice sensations of circulation, sensations of coming a little undone, a little space around the abdomen. Draw your knees to your chest. Interlace your fingers over your left shin. Right leg goes long, flex both feet. Right knee to the chest, out wide, and then into the center, extended. Knee to chest, out to the right, extend down the center. Knee to chest, out to the side, and up the middle. So this simple circularity in the hip. It's so much sitting, standing, walking is a linear movement for our hips, but they're made to circle. Draw your right knee right into the center, extending long. One more. And then changing sides. Right knee to chest, left knee out to the left, extend it out and up the middle. Out the left, extending long, knee to the chest. Feel how that starts to change the back, how the diaphragm meets the back body, how the breath begins to open and widen. And reverse. So the left leg extends out to the left, into the center, and straighten. Left knee left, into the middle, press it long. Three, 2, and 1. Put your right foot flat. Cross your left ankle over the right. Lift your head and shoulders, reaching forward. Bend your right knee and bring it close to your chest. Right leg straight, hands overhead. Inhale, knee to chest. Exhale. If you need to, modification, hold the backs of your thighs. When you're ready, no hands. For 3, 2, and 1. Good. And we change. Right ankle over the left knee. Lift the head and shoulders. Open out as you extend and exhale. Use your left heel to draw towards your left shoulder. Send your right knee forward. For 3. For 2. Good, good, good. And for 1. Feet down, hands open. Feel the low abdomen, feel the navel, feel the light, the heat, the circulation. Breath deep into the abdomen. 3. The soles of your feet together. On the playlist, we're at Tan the Vibe. Just double check if you're uncertain. Feet together. Pause a beat. Bringing your awareness, bringing your breath down to the space between your navel and your pubic bone, your left hip and your right hip. It makes a diamond. In that space, that's where we're breathing. That's where we're melting, waking, feeling. And then elbows to the floor, arms wide or overhead. Put the soles of your feet together, the knees together. Inhale, the knees open. Exhale, together. So you're falling to the outside edges of your feet, and then the feet flat. You're allowing and inviting the movement to become more and more fluid. 3, 2, bring your feet together, knees together. Stand on your feet to lift your hips off the floor. Your feet may slightly separate, and you'll open your knees again. Keep your hips up and knees together. In to open and out to close. Let the weight rest in your shoulders and in your heels without gripping through the low back. Feeling that diamond of space between the navel, the pubis, the left hip, the right hip. Feel the front and the back. Three, 2, 1, set it down. Open your arms out wide, lift your heels up high. Opening your legs, drop your left leg to the floor, your right foot to follow. And then widen your legs, and right leg down, and the left leg follow. You begin to move from side to side. The modification is to bend your knees. And you take your time. You respect the limitations of your spine. One more, into the center, and knees bend, feet flat. Put your hands on your thighs, pause. Notice, see if you can feel into that diamond of space in the low belly. Knees to your chest. And when we're in a river has been pent up for a while, roll up to a seat. And it comes free. At first it's messy, right? It's okay. First 2 weeks of this, we haven't even completed 2 weeks. Shake out your feet, shake out your knees. Might be messy, might be emotional. I hear you. Me too. Circle. Interlace your fingers, heels are wide, knees are bent if needed. And the temptation is to move from your chest and your upper back. And instead, feel the seat in the floor. And circle from that seat. Ha. We overflow, we spill out, we question. We're out of the bounds we're familiar with. But if we just allow this flow to continue, we'll develop a new stream bed. We'll create a new path. Reverse your circle.
3, 2. Reverse, but now smaller. Close your eyes. Smaller. Gather in. Feel how the interior of your pelvis is a bowl shape. And reverse, quick and potent. Finding the waters of your body. When we have been still and heavy for a long time, when we sit, let that movement, like stirring batter, begin to put it together. 3, 2, good. And pause, tall, feel, notice this. Out the feet, out the knees. Bring your feet together. Bend your knees. And pull your toes up. Arms out, fold your fingers in, thumbs are up. As you draw forward, take your hands apart. As you go back together, inhale, exhale. If it's too much on your shoulder, a little bend in your elbow. And the movement is initiated from your heels and your hips. And the spine simply follows. Three, 2, 1. Cross your legs, hands up high, make little cups. Inhale. 3 sips in. Heart up, chin in, stay tall. Soften your face, soften your body around all of it. Little pulses at the pelvic floor. 3, 2, 1. And release down. Opening this space in our body begins to allow us to feel who we are more fully. Not to feel only the parts that we are familiar with or the parts that we approve of, but it's also why we begin to feel more grief or more even confusion. As we let that range grow, it will settle back in, just like the river, flooding the banks and a new course. Come to stand. Unfold your blanket one time. Up at the top, blocks outside at the head of the little toes. And from there, fingertips reach forward, sit your seat down, lift your thumbs, lift your heart, stand up tall. Here's the inhale. And then sitting down, tail back, ribs to thigh, hands down, head down. Sit down, inhale, stand up, unfold, and then fold back in. And as you practice this day after day, you allow your seat to deepen and you crease the hips back. You lengthen the ankles, the tops of the feet, the backs of the knees, and the elbows. Go 2 more, sit down. And 1 more. Up out of the navel, up out of the hips, stand tall. Arms wide, knees bent, hands to blocks. Left foot steps back, left knee down, hands up. Perfect. Hands down, sweep it out. So your hips come forward and back. Your back toes are tucked under.
If you need to modify, right hand on thigh. One more time. In up. And then hands down. Stepping up. Sit down, hands wide, inhale. Bend your knees, widen out. Right foot back, right knee down. Forward and back. Modify hand on thigh anytime you need to. One more. Hands down. Step your right foot up. Sit down and reach wide. Again, hands wide, left foot steps back, left knee down. In and up. And down, opening the left side of the low abdomen, left thigh, left ribs, right through the fingers. And as you bring your left hand high, your left hand holds your right wrist. Forward and back with the hips. And then slowly forward. Chest is broad, arms a little right. Control the bend with your right heel. And breathe into the left ribs. Set it down. Stepping up. Sit down, reach wide. And then knees bend. Right foot back, right knee down. Hands up. Forward and back. And down. Hands up high. Good. Left hand holds the right wrist. Forward, back. And slowly forward. And hands down. Set your blocks aside. Find downward facing dog. Walk your dog. Open the feet. Turn the chin. Bringing yourself to a high plank to bring your hips down to the floor. Bend your knees. Sweep your feet back to lift your heart. Knees to the floor, child's pose, full. And as you come forward, you rock to the belly and back. So you're rolling the abdomen over that blanket. Press and release. Work right there, or as you come forward, we'll pause a beat. Turning right, turning left, looking center. Press back. Rocking forward, elbows bend and hug into your body. Look right, look left, look up out of the belly. And child's pose. Tuck of the chin, elbows down, palms together, head fits between your arms, fold. Good. And coming up. Fold your blanket in half. And build a cross-legged seat, seated in the center of your bolster or your blanket. Adding blocks up under the knees. Good. So the fingers will drop down over the fronts of your blocks or over to the side, your choice. As you lean forward, press down, but press your outer feet into the floor to lift your hips. Sit down, hands up. And rock forward, press down. Inhale up. Press with your feet, press with your hands, and gather into your low belly.
so that it doesn't become dramatic, I like it, I don't like it. It's just a pulse of power. Free it up and then gather it in. So we'll rise up and we'll press down and we'll stay lifted. 3, 2, and sit down. Even if you don't leave the ground, just lean forward, press. Maybe you're just lifting your weight so slightly, maybe you press into your feet, lift your hips, stay. 3. You may tremble, you may sweat, you may holler. Sit down, hands up, inhale. Remember, there is power within you. Press down, rise 3. Last set. Good. Sit down and inhale up. And just one pulse at a time. We find the place that feels impossible or blocked or stuck, the place we would turn away from, the boulder in our path. And a little bit at a time, pressing down. Give it love, give it momentum. 3, ha. Ha. 2. We make our way around that obstacle. We make our way through the reluctance. Each day, a little bit more powerful. And pause with your hands up high. Make little cups. Inhale. Lift your chin. Give it 3 sips in. Heart up, the chest is full. Now pulse the pelvic floor, Mula Bandha. Little pulses, little pulses, little pulses, like you were stirring the very bottom of a bowl. Lift your chin, exhale, bend your elbows, eyes closed. Notice. And we're stirring inside the physical body. We're stirring the energy. All the deep patterns that have been latent and still. Shake out your legs, shake out your feet. If you got a smile in you, now's a good time for it. I'll turn so you can see. If you know where you're going, go. Hands almost to touch. And then opening out. Exhale. Inhale, we go. Out. In. Most modified, hands start low. This is our pleasure center. I get so busy. I don't notice how good it is. Take a minute. So the movement's initiated down in my hips, down in my belly, and my spine is just following, and my arms are following my spine. If it needs to be small, be small. Where's the pleasure? Where's the smile? Oh, pretty baby. It's okay. Close your eyes and find the steadiness here. What if every lyric of this song was the day singing to you? You're too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off you. I hold you so much. Where does it build? Where does it hold? Where does it get lost? Soften there. Undam that river. hands wide, little cups, 3 sips, bring it in, fill the chest.
Hard out, little pulses in the pelvic floor, little pulses, pulse, pulse, pulse. Keep it pulsing, breathe out. Inhale. Pause again, pulse, pulse, pulse. Stirring underneath at the base of that bowl, chin up, elbows bent, hands down. Notice. Unblocking the river of sensation. The river of choice, the river of nourishment. All of it lives here. Hands unblocked. Lean forward, press. Sit down, hands up. 3. And rock forward and press. And sit down. 2. Now, bending your elbows, put the last 2 fingers into your hand. First 2 fingers together, you point down. Most modified, bend at the elbows. Inhale, exhale. Next modification, elbows up and elbows bending. Full gesture, arms straighten. And now initiate the movement from your low belly. And you're drawing energy from that low belly up so that pleasure can come into the navel and you can take action. So that pleasure can come into the heart and you can know love. Up into the throat. You can speak, expressing what it is you choose and what you don't. Up into the mind, to know yourself, your preferences, and to be known, and for all of it to be elevated right out the top of your head. Let it soften and slow. For 3. For 2. Hands high, seat down. Long, steady breathing. Soften the knees. Soften the knees, shake out the knees, soften the grip of the hips. Elbows bend, hands down, palms open. Pause and notice. Roll the shoulders, shake out the arms. Taking more and more time to start to feel. Giving this energy more space and more attention. Letting it affect our mind and our sensations. Now you may work here, seated, or I prefer to stand. Opening your hands, put your thumb into the palm. And fold your fingers over the thumb. With that mudra, you wind one over the other. Long, smooth breathing. You have 4 minutes right here. If you start getting high, eventually, you know what? Let it down. As the body needs to move, you move. You close your eyes. And you release that river. You release what's been held back, what's been numbed, what's been set aside. And you let it move through.
Notice, where do you block the sensation? Where do you block the movement? Where do we hold on and try to do a better job? No one's watching you. Soften your shoulders. Soften your effort. You're making momentum. You're not making strain. So let it through. Two minutes to go. Eyes closed, steady on, right here. Breath to fill the chest, pranvayu, that which draws in, that which nourishes, that which revives and feeds. Three, two, inhale, make tight fist, cross your fist, press, and stay strong. Exhale, hands down, shake it out, inhale. Fists, cross, press, stay. And release. And redistribute. There is an energy within you that is looking to evolve who you are. There is a course through your life. It may be different from what you expected. Gather your light. Build your seat, legs crossed, blocks out in front. You know where you're going? Go. Hands to the blocks, to the shoulders, inhale up, to exhale down. Inhale. Exhale. So this is modification one. Next would be holding opposite elbows to find that fold. But without support, tend to your low back by exhaling, sending your low abdomen to your spine, creating stability right in that hinge of the hips. Or the full posture, holding the forearms over the head, holding opposite elbows. A minute, close your eyes, find what's right for you, and fold.
3, 2. Only going as far as is appropriate for your back, for your hips. Rise up. Your right hand down to the floor, your left hand will reach. Your left hand down to the floor, your right hand will reach. And you move side to side. Keep your seat steady beneath you. Perfect. So this is always an option if you need support. Open the sides of your spine just like this. Next step, palms together. So firm the low abdomen, keep the seat square. Next step, hands higher, the height of your head, your forehead. Full posture, hands up high, and even hands slightly apart. Close your eyes, 2 minutes. Smaller, a little quicker. Move from that low belly point. Move from that low belly point. That's your stabilization. This is how you know you. Svadhistana, dwelling place of the self, myself. We don't get too far pulled in one direction or another. Get smaller, come home, side to side. In, X, in, X, in, 3, 2. Inhale up, chin up, 3 sips. Hold the breath, hard up, chin in. Now pulse the pelvic floor. Pulsing Mulabandha, stirring the base of the bowl, and release. Chin up, elbows bend, hands down. Notice the sensations in your body, around your body. Aside. Take it all with you. Lie back with the bolster or the blanket beneath your hips. Knees bent, shoulders to the floor. Pause. Interlace your hands behind the back of your neck. Elbows wide. So press the elbows into the floor, and this will lift your heart and lengthen your navel. Long, deep breathing will widen your ribs, and a little pull of the heels will open the low belly. You can work right here, or press your heels down to lift your hips. Down. Inhale up. Exhale down. You may work here or a footprint length forward. heel toe. Elbows wide. Shoulders in the floor. Inner edges of your feet to the floor. Lengthening layer after layer from your navel all the way to your knees, elbows wide. 10 seconds. 3, 2. Setting down, pause. Notice. Release your hands. Take the blanket from beneath you, lay it over your low belly. Feel the pulse there, the circulation, the health. Close your eyes. In your mind, with that pulse, the repetition, svadhistana, 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 in your mind. Release your mind, release the effort, just the sensation. Deepen your breathing. Walk your feet in and turn to the side. Pausing your playlist if it continues. As you come to a cross-legged seat, add any socks, any wrap, any extra layer you may require. Allow your left arm to float, thumb first, fingertip to touch and descend. Left elbow open, left shoulder square to the right, spine tall down the center. Right hand to rise. First two fingers together, folding in. So the tip of your fourth finger on the right hand, take it to your left inner eye corner. Slide down the side of the bone, feel where the bone ends, just above the left nostril, closed there. Breathing easily through the right side only. Feel the right side body a little brighter, a little taller. Awake. Solar body, the logic body, the speaking body. Release the left fingertip.
Now your right thumb tip to your right inner eye corner, slide down to just behind the right nostril. Close there. Breathing easily through the left side only. Svadhistana, this low abdomen energy, is known for polarities, for the way that the world divides left, right, sun, moon, tomorrow, yesterday. Feel the left side body open and warm, lunar, intuitive and listening. Breathe in the mouth, out the mouth, in the left side nostril. Close the left, out right, 2, 3, 4. In right, 2, 3, 4. Out left, 2, 3, 4. In left. Out right. In right. Out left. In left. Out right. In right. Out left. Right hand down. Easy in and out, both nostrils. Developing balance between both sides, both skills, both perspectives, both principles. And again, the right hand to rise. First 2 fingers down, 4th finger cross over. Release that, right thumb closing. Inhale left. Out right. In right. Out left. In left. Out right. In right. Out left. Repeat. Right hand down as you conclude. Normal breathing. A little change in our pattern this week. Right hand, fold through 2 fingers in. Close the right, breathing in the left. Pause the inhalation, 3, 2. Out right. Pause, 2, 3. In right. Pause, 2, 3. Out left. Pause. In left, fill the chest. Pause, feel the fullness, heart up, chin in. Out right, empty the belly. Pause right, feel the emptiness. In right, fill the chest. Pause, feel fullness.
Out left. Pause. Feel empty. In left. Full chest. Out right. Pause. Empty belly. In right. Full chest. Pause. Out left. Pause. Empty. Right hand down. Normal breathing. Notice. That little pause of our breath enlivening that which nourishes us, filling the chest, and enlivening our emptiness. To deepen your breathing, to soften your face, sweep up tall. Palms together down the center, thumb to the forehead center. Sat Nam. 8 count Sat, 2 count Nam. I am this. Inhale. Sat Nam. Svadhistana, this place of polarity, of self. And when we define self, everything that isn't self is also defined. And then everything that self encounters, there's a relationship that develops. I like, I dislike, I want, I don't want. That there is the energy of polarity, is the experience of the two knowing themselves and each other. It can be you and your work, you and your spouse, you and your pet, you and your schedule, you and your food, you and your body, right? It's you in relation to everything else. And we establish ourselves. And then we relate. And we say, yes, this serves me, and this doesn't. But that serving and the not serving is discharged the more we know ourselves. I feel. I don't numb. I notice. I grieve. I acknowledge it passes through me. And I reside in this dwelling place, aware. This is the work, this is the energy you are creating. So you may experience upheaval, and when you do, sit down, give yourself 3 minutes, alternate nostril breathing. Yes, no, you're going against something or towards something. That's creating the upheaval. I like what they said, I don't like what they said. You're just caught in that stream. Come back to yourself and notice it differently. It's not that it doesn't need to happen. I need a perspective to understand. A rise of health, a sacred call to change the course, to correct at least one choice, and watch what happens when a river is untethered and free. Jacqueline Suskin. Until tomorrow, thank you for your practice. Thank you for your time. Always you can reach me via my website. I look forward to tomorrow. Vimeo, YouTube, Facebook, noon, Monday through Friday. Good morning. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Shannon.